Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters over at patreon.com/FS. Those being Green Alexander, Waterflame, about whom we things we do now. So thank you for your continued support over the years. And I sit back, relax. And we're live! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran, Terra, Shadowfront. I am Sen, and I have reclaimed the Game Master seat, and in doing so, I have killed Jack. You can see that it is true because he is no longer on the overlay. So, joining me today, my future victim.
Be only one. They did battle with swords. One of them lost their head.
See, this is why I stopped jamming Lancers, because I knew this was a possibility.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You just have to be careful not to do that shit on holy ground.
Look, the Game Master seat is one that is fueled by vitality and life force, which means one of us has to die. Anyways,
Funny how I've been able to keep this secret for so long.
that's because you're a vampire. We know this. Joining me today are my future victims, starting with Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Titania Valkorian, a Ladrin, Druid, and Archdruid of the Grim Harvest. There we go.
And Craig.
Hi, I'll be playing Grumman Bellmender, a Dwarven Way of the Drunken Master Monk, and a baby cleric.
And Holly.
I am Holly. I'm playing Vespia, as I'm remembering what she is. She's a Chandler now.
Yeah.
And Shani.
I am Shani, and I'm playing Valdez Stonebeard, the Dwarven Samurai.
Wait, hold, and also, hang on, realizing that I've forgotten to change a thing, and I've actually haven't heard it pronounced out loud yet. Aislinn?
Ashlyn?
Ashlyn? There we go. Look, I'm bad at names, okay?
Somebody. All right. Anyway,
Look at the world map.
I'm Ashlyn. I'm playing Ithram Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard / I don't know what else. He's just a war wizard.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Sable Herdslayer, Asamar, blood cleric.
As always.
Who, despite the way it looks, is not on the overlay, is not a changeling.
Right. Yeah,
It's fine. I just was looking at the over. There's a spoiler on the overlay.
it's fine because
No one will know what's
It's
happening.
gonna be a really quick spoiler, anyways.
That's true.
You can go ahead and say the actual character.
Ensign, changeling, rogue / blood hunter.
So some of you. First of all, trans rights, human rights, and Black Lives Matter. In whatever order you want to
Also, the
apply
stream
this.
is powered by Sirenscape.
The stream is powered by Sirenscape. I was going to get to that in a minute when I turn the music on. But before that, some of the more astute of our viewers might notice that we are 5th edition terminology again rather than Pathfinder terminology. We did an experiment. We tried Pathfinder out. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea. And with the changes to the OGL having been walked back in perpetuity,
Hard to pull. You can't really pull things out of Creative Commons. So
we
Yes.
we felt comfortable running 5th edition D&D again, so we came back to it. There's going to be some narrative justifications happening in just a few minutes, but yes, so that is why.
In the words of WWE, we wish Pathfinder to ye well in its future endeavors.
I love Pathfinder 2nd edition. I'm just the only one. Anyways.
No, I thought it was
Craig,
fun.
you're muted.
Just
You're not.
yeah, I would crunch down on that in a hurry. Like
it's
I
not
said,
with these characters.
I don't know.
I felt the Munchkin in the deep parts of my brain stem stirring and waking after a 20-year slumber.
I'm not afraid to say it. I wish it well in its future endeavors.
There you go.
I love you, Pathfinder.
Anyways, we're back in 5th edition. And with that, Jack has decided to sort of step back from the Terra show, get a little bit of brain fog as far as getting to play Ent, so that's why he's not here. I didn't actually kill him. Thought that was real.
He'll be rejoining us when we return to Stardust.
Nikki,
we do genuinely wish Jack well and hope all is going well.
Yes, and Nikki.
And we'll see him Wednesdays. It's not like
look. Some people might not watch the Wednesday show before tonight. All right.
for legal purposes, the murdering one of our players is a joke.
Yes, for legal purposes, murdering one of our players is a joke. And also, Nikki will not.
Somebody text Jack real quick. Just make sure.
Just make sure. Nikki will not be here because Nikki is elsewhere, illicitly touching hands.
For legal purposes, that is also a joke.
I mean, touching hands doesn't tell you what it doesn't tell you anything. So.
No, but when you imply illicit,
you don't imply it. You state it directly.
Okay, when you directly say illicit.
Anyway.
Don't worry though, we're still, as you can tell, our finely oiled machine right here.
Oh,
and
boy.
yes, as was pointed out, already off to a great start. Look, this is what you asked for.
Yep.
As was stated previously, we are indeed powered by Sirenscape. So the Steel Hearts, along with Relnor, have tinted down for the Feywild. All set your watches. You've begun your long rest. Titania,
Yeah.
as you are trancing, doing your evening meditations, there's a moment where you realize everything. Thank you, Ashlyn.
Sorry.
Also, because you reminded me to take my last dose for the day. I'll take it in a second. There comes a moment where you realize everything has gone quiet. A much more unnatural quiet than you would have thought possible in the Feywild. And you open your eyes from your meditations, and everything's gone dark as well. A little chill run down your spine. And there's a moment of panic beginning where you recognize the chill. And you hear the familiar tapping of a wooden stave as Dagoth steps up to sit next to you. This figure you've seen before several times, much more in scope and in size than you've seen him before. Previously, whenever you had an encounter with Dagoth and Argon, the sort of the visual filters have been off. It's been hard to tell scale, but now very much seems on the same level as you. This ancient man with antlers soaked in blood.
Hi.
Looks over at you. An interesting bit of trivia. Where you are now lies in a place adjacent to the material plane. within reach of those of us beyond the Divine Veil.
Oh,
Which gives us an opportunity. As he says that, you feel another chill, and knowledge passes into your brain. You see endless fields of wheat. Amidst those endless fields of wheat, angels and fiends battling. As you see that in your mind's eye, Dagoth continues. Argon's forces are on the brink of defeat. Even with the reinforcements from other gods. Canalian's devouring of 2 gods with murder in their portfolio make him a formidable foe. One that cannot be driven back without significant altering of the situation. To that end, we have decided to intervene in what way we can. This trial that Jade Warden has put forth will not be done in time. So, we are circumventing it. I have provided your location to a friend. One that can remove you. But before that, I have to fix what was broken. Reaches up, grabs antlers on his head. These emaciated arms just tighten. To deal with something like Ternalian requires great sacrifice. Understand. And there is the sound of shattering bone as it wrenches the air out of his head. Blood begins to pour down his face. He doesn't seem to notice it all that much. This one, he says, handing out the left antler towards you. Give this to Abernar.
Oh, I take it.
This one says, holding out the right one. Once Abernar has taken the left, he will know what to do with this. And he hands you that one as well. My presence here will have awoken something in all of you and your companion. The touch of divinity does that. We can only hope it will be enough, and that we are not too late. Goodbye, Tanya Valkorian.
Bye.
And as you say that, the world reappears and he's gone. And you feel this connection beginning to fray. Internally, it feels the best way for you to describe it. It's as if a rope connecting you to divinity is beginning to tear.
Okay. Okay.
And in your hands are 2 antlers, covered in blood.
I go wake up Valda, who is presumably pretty near.
Oh yeah.
Valdeth, you wake up. and the rest of you that are sleeping are beginning to wake up as well.
Yep.
As you're going to sort of start explaining things to Tanya, all of you are distracted slightly by the sound of, the best way to describe it is ripping and tearing, but not of fabric, of metal, steel foundation. You hear the sound of something heavy and fortified ripping apart. The ground shakes, the trees wither. And as you all start looking around for what exactly is going on, a line of light for you, and massive claws rip and tear reality asunder. Leaning in through this tear is a figure you've never seen. Massive bronze scales covering an almost alien-looking draconic form. One that is very similar to certain depictions of Eleonorathus, save the color scheme. This sort of draconic form that, rather than carrying its elemental wrath inside of it, has been broken open at stages, unable to fully contain the power. As this roiling flame that emits from its body in several different places sparks and sputters, the massive head looks down at you. I found you.
Hello.
Dagoth sent you?
You hear a familiar voice, Tanya, as you just asked that. That of your mother. Hold on to something. And Ithram, you hear your mother going, they would definitely hold on to something.
I grab Vespia.
There is
That's what she was talking about.
there is the sound of rushing wind, and yet more foundational tearing as all of you feel yourselves ripped bodily from the ground and from the Feywild. Still, all happening very quickly, not much time to react between. As you find yourselves falling, tumbling through space, through this technicolor light show, as the fabric of reality rends asunder around you. You see a massive interlaced web of golden light approaching you from below, all pass through it harmlessly. And then reality reasserts itself, and you all, except for Sable and Nomi, drop about a foot and a half from relative to the ground, hitting the ground. Dead grass, a circle of stones, material components scattered around, and the faces of Abernar. Why can't I think of Tanya's mom's name?
Annette.
Annette, thank you. Annette Valkorian. Abernar, Annette Valkorian, Ithram's mother. Who's, oh, no, I also can't
Avira.
remember. What?
Avira.
Avira, thank you. Avira Valar. And the suddenly shrinking and returning to human form of Max and Daedalus. Sort of standing around you. Circle that has been created in the grass, in a field of dead. Welcome back. As Annette says that, there is another portal that opens, and a clattering of material as all of the gear that had been ripped away from you just sort of clatters onto the ground nearby, with Avira going, I found the tools as well.
So that's where that went.
You all feel better. You feel your particular abilities, powers that had been stripped from you have returned. Grumman, that ache in your back is gone. But in addition, you also feel slightly more reinforced, as if something had been left behind with you when you had been ripped out of the Feywild. Valdeth, you in particular feel an almost magical essence filling you, one that you're
If I may,
What?
Valdeth, that wind that often picks up around Valdeth when she's channeling her inner energy sort of picks up again. But she sort of turns a head to a side as if sensing something. And there's a catch in her breath as she recognizes something. And she sort of inhales for a second. Good to see you again. As if responding to a voice that isn't there. Of course. And she starts to walk forward to her pile of gear. And as she walks, the plate armor that she had been wearing again in the time in the Feywild, her ancestral plate of her family, begins to break and dissolve as if becoming ethereal. It fades off of her shoulders and sort of floats and fades through her body as she steps out of it into her samurai's garb. But the pieces of armor that have become ethereal don't just vanish, they start to hover behind her. And in them begins to manifest a swirling mass of ethereal presence that takes the form of a long, dead dwarf that has a long beard that stretches out to the middle of his chest, wearing the helm forms again, a halberd in one hand and a pistol in the other, as this dwarf takes shape in the armor of the Stonebeard clan, as Valdeth picks up her sword and turns and bows to the dwarf. It's good to see you again, father.
A lot of questions about that. Abrunar, Dagoth came and she's holding out the 2 bloody antlers. This is for you. Hands him the left one. Yeah.
Excellent. The others look at him too, slightly confused because this obviously wasn't something that they had been specifically told. There's a look. Give me an insight check, Tanya, or anyone else that wants to.
I'll do that. 26. Nice. Oh, Vespia.
Valdeth almost never rolls insight, might as well. 22.
Vespia and Ithram, you're not. Abrunar is not the easiest person to read. In the best of times, Titania and Valdeth. There's some sort of understanding has hit him just now, and he seems sad. Drummond, there's something. There's a complex series of emotions that are happening on his face, as far as you can tell. But it's happening in a very elven way, which, from your experience as a bartender, elves don't half-ass emotion. They do not partially feel an emotion. They feel it all the way. And what that means is that when they're feeling particularly complex emotions, it sort of cascades almost like a river or a waterfall. He seems to be being hit with several different feelings at the same time. The primary one that you're sort of picking up is grief and understanding. Yes, I will. It'll take me some time to deal with.
You said you'd know what to do with this? Hands other antler over.
I have a suspicion.
Are you all right there? Is there anything we can do?
No, not yet. But thank you.
Should I know what this means?
You will. By tomorrow. Annette looking at the group of you and at Aberdar with a raised eyebrow. Well, the situation in Jerome has gotten dire. So, information that was which information that was retrieved to us, thanks. We felt the need to pull you back from wherever it was you were. Max and Daedalus sort of tilts his neck. You hear a popping of sort of vertebrae. You were in the Feywild. He nods. We should have you accompany us back to Grifftop. Says, and if you follow her hand and point, you see that you are, probably, half a day's ride. Normally, or sorry, half a day's walk, not ride, from Grifftop. You can see it very much close by. And then you see the you see the circle, sort of like the teleportation circle that Ithram's mother is carving in the ground. As soon as she finishes, we'll head back and go over the situation. She says, and you follow her eyes as she looks. You turn and see, if you look towards Taram, it looks to be somewhere around noon. The sun is high in the sky. But when you look at Taram, you would swear that that it was the dead of night at Taram. You see the sky gradually darken the closer it gets to the city, and once you actually look at the mountain in the distance, you see this dark black shadows in the sky and this sort of red underlight glowing from the city itself, with vague inclinations of winged figures in the distance, as best you can tell. It's far too far away. But that also tells you about how large those winged figures must be that you're able to make them out at all.
Okay. Second order of business. Velvet? Do I?
While y'all have that conversation, I'll be right back.
Yep.
She looks over her shoulder as if having a conversation that can't be heard with the ghost that is now hovering over her shoulder. It's, something changed when I came back, and I felt my father's presence. And he asked if I could give him the armor to be present with us. And I did.
Okay.
This is my father, Cadmus Stonebeard.
Pleased to meet you. She'll give a full curtsy situation.
The ghostly dwarf just sort of unable to speak to anyone but Valdeth, apparently, just nods sagely.
This is his, like, spirit, or?
The dwarves of Everstone are in strong connection to their ancestors throughout history. As far as I understand, this is one of the first times that an ancestor spirit has directly manifested to aid their descendant. But yes.
Hi, I'm married to your daughter.
There's a slight smile.
Speaking of, and at that point, like, try and use the ring to figure out where the hell Gant is, but that's what's happening with Tajak.
Yeah, Ithram is just gathering his gear, getting everything fitted. Anything that he finds of Vespia's, he's handing it off to her, passing out everybody else's gear as well.
Yep.
And yeah, he's gonna see his crystalline chronicle and then go, oh, and then kind of thumb through it for a second.
Oh,
and then yeah, he's like, oh, thank goodness. And then yeah, he's just gonna go through a handful of cantrips to make sure that okay.
I'm back.
Yeah. Cast mass polymorph on everybody. No.
Nice.
Grumman will also recollect all the gear. Dust it off. Put back on what's his.
Okay. Everyone's okay. We have looking around, like counting at this point, probably because it's been a hot minute and it's been a whole lot of nonsense recently.
We're short 2 aside from Ghent.
Sen, is Vespia reconnected to the library or not?
Make a constitution. Don't you love it when your GM answers a question with a
Why not?
request for a saving throw?
Hey.
How about a natural 20?
Yeah.
We're at 29.
So, with your powers returned, you instinctively sort of reach back out to grab a hold of your planar access. And you stop. You feel like this sort of tension in your gut. And you think about it for a minute. And then instinctively, you sort of reach over and grab it and put his hand on the hilt of your sword. And then draw the sword out. And as you do, Ithram, you feel this sort of odd sensation of magic flowing through you. And Vespia, you reconnect to the multiverse, channeling that energy through Ithram. And when you do, when it comes back to you, it's almost got this sort of fiery edge to it. And you do not sense that connection. You have your abilities and your skills, but you've reconnected to them in a way that bypasses the library.
Vespia kind of breathes a sigh of relief at that. I'm no longer bound to the library.
Magic laundering.
This is good. Yes.
Yes.
In addition to that, you feel that your planar focus, the worlds that you have access to all energy from, seems to have expanded. And that fiery edge turns into cold steel. And you feel these chains latching around you. You've sort of instinctively activated your planar focus to Carceri. And you realize that teleportation circle that's happening right over there, within 30 feet of you,
Mm-hmm.
you have the ability to make it not work.
Okay.
You let go of that planar focus.
Okay, that's new.
You have you now have the three new planar focuses of Pandemonium,
Mm-hmm.
Bytopia.
Bytopia.
Yes, Bytopia. Bytopia.
The utopia of all bisexuals.
Not spelled quite that way. It is a real plane, but yes, Bytopia.
You literally just spelled it. Bitopia.
No, B-Y.
Okay,
B-Y.
BY. Okay, I heard BI. I was like, wait a minute.
It's a real fucking plane, all right?
All right, Titania's still going around counting because it's been rattled and counting is not her specialty. Wait, 2?
Okay, that doesn't make it better because they're literally the twin paradises of Bytopia. They were going for the same thing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Sable.
Yeah, you seem to be missing Sable and Nanomi.
Oh.
Oh no. she's not going to be pleased.
Oh no, she's gonna be right fucking pissed off.
Ithram looks at Vespia, and not my fault this time.
Max and Daedalus
No.
looks at the group of you. I am sorry. There's someone I missed. I was only looking for steel.
There were two someones you missed that we were with. Because Naomi's not here either.
Sin's over there somewhere too.
Right.
Who? He still looks confused. He's no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who? Naomi.
Could we
Students new.
see them this time? Maybe.
Oh, what was that, Craig?
Could we send a message to them this time? Maybe.
I had to rip. I had to rip through a divine barrier to acquire you. It's not an easy thing to do.
No. I get that, but I mean, I just all the best I've got is shouting really loud, but and I don't think Sable had one of our. And he taps the link pearl.
Oh, and Railnor as well.
Max slowly looks at the others and just shrugs. Names again, leaving my brain. Titania's mom goes.
Annette.
Annette, thank you. We were only aiming for the steel hat. So when we have a moment, we'll go back and get that. That'll take a day to prepare again.
It's all right. We should find out what's happening in Taram and what's needs to come next.
Yes.
We'll put a hand to her ear and activate her link pearl to reach out to Gent. You still all right over there?
There's something happening.
You still on the floating nautiloid?
Aren't you? And he does a moment of, oh,
Oh.
huh.
Something wrong?
I hadn't noticed that you weren't there.
There was a second O there.
Also, I may have accidentally hit a button. My brain.
What happened?
What does that mean?
Did you know that beyond the cloud layer above us, there's a sea of stars?
I mean, that's the night sky.
No, it's much more expansive than just the sky. I know there's, I mean, the surface below looks like a marble of multiple colors, and there's many other things out here. I seem to have hit the up button and stop.
Are you in the astral sea?
Possibly.
Please return from the astral sea post haste.
I will work on it immediately. As soon as I can.
When you get back, make your way to Tehran. We're going to need your help. We're probably getting near to the final push.
I've done some quick math. Don't wait for me.
All right, let's get moving then. See you when you get here.
Be there as soon as I can. I just don't know how long that'll be.
Okay, well, at least he's safe. Relatively.
At that point, the teleportation opens. There's a doorway spinning through the air, through which Max and Daedalus, slightly confused, steps through.
I get used to it.
Since it's been a while. Also, I forgot. Since it's been a while, looks like in his human form. He is about 5'8" in his human form. Long, sort of shoulder length, curly black hair, dark olive brown skin, golden eyes, with a bit of sort of a thin but almost like designer stubble-esque beard, and wearing no shirt, but wearing very sort of baggy pants in the style of Eleonora, and barefoot, because he covers his legs, and he covers his lower half, and basically that's it. And he just walks right through that. Do the rest of you follow?
Sure, let's go.
Yeah, I believe it was
Yep.
to Grifftop.
So you all teleport rapidly to Grifftop, where you find yourselves in a hall that has been established. That have it has all manner of papers on the walls and on tables. It seems a war room. There are maps of the area. People going over numbers as far as enemy count and things like that, and some familiar. The captains of several Griffin companies that you've worked with over the years are present, including cousin Brava. Brava is their leader of the portals. Adam is their leader of the Ivory Legion. A few other familiar Griffin leaders. You also recognize, surprisingly, get mentioned it before, but I don't know if he ever described what she looks like now. Someone who is very easily recognized as the grown-up Adairn Minar, sitting next to and talking to Sin. The two, and behind them, very large looking a very large warforged in what looks to be Tyrian Legion armor.
Sin.
Okay. Hi.
So
Do
Sin,
you look different?
I
hear me.
Yes.
So you have been in Grifftop for a while.
Okay.
Your journey through the Feywild was far more productive than you had thought it would be.
Okay.
And you had eventually you actually ended up meeting up with Titania's grandfather.
Oh, hey, I did not pull up my family tree. Hang on, let me find that real quick.
I found your family tree the other day, and then I lost it. And I can't. I keep
yep.
not being able to find it again.
Philanderal?
Philanderil.
Yep.
Yeah, Philanderil. That's right. You actually ended up meeting up with Philanderil, who helped you through various archfey puzzles and confusing bullshit. Sort of regain the level of competency that you had previously. Since then, you have actually been not gathering information on the situation in Taram, which is how you ended up here in Grifftop. At the moment, you're actually having a conversation with Adair Minar, who has been doing, who you learned has basically rescue sting rescue skirmish operations, where she and a handful of soldiers, all of whom for whatever reason have decided that they're following her, specifically considering that the rest of their command structure got fucked. Her and a handful of surviving Tyrian Legion soldiers have been basically doing fast, hard stealth strikes into Taram, rescuing as many survivors and material as they can, and then legging it back to Grifftop as quickly as possible. And so she's actually been going with you for some of or you and her have been exchanging details on some of the changes to the terrain. You've learned that basically travel between the districts has been all but destroyed as far as normal means. The guard posts that were formerly used as checkpoints to go up and down were destroyed. The river itself has been dammed, so you can't even go through the water. They've been having to basically use sewer system to get further up And that's just because it's so much of a maze that it's impossible to block off all access through it. And that's basically where you're at as far as information gathering lies at the moment, when a teleportation circle appears and most of the Steelhearts step out, and then you hear Tanya go, "Sin."
Okay. Did I know about any of that?
You knew that there were efforts being made to recover the Steelhearts from wherever they were at, but you didn't know
Okay.
how far along those efforts were. Now,
Okay. Sorry, I'm having a momentary brain fart.
no worries. We can focus on something else while you think about
yes,
that.
please do.
Absolutely.
I need to absorb all of that.
Sorry. But yeah, so you see there's a group of
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. There, as I said earlier, there are lots of papers going on, sort of on tables, on walls, people running for messages. And as soon as you hit the area, you see Abernar sort of wins to a few people and disappear out of what seems to be a tent, as far as you can tell. And Adam, seeing the group appear, just smiles, grin, walks over, looks at the group of you. Well, you seem to be missing a few people. Everything okay?
At the very least, everyone else that we're missing appears to be safe at the moment. It's just a matter of getting them back here eventually.
Scars.
Oh, sorry, that one happened. What feels like a long time ago.
3 episodes ago.
I know. It feels like a long time ago. With the lone exception of Scuzz, who is no longer with us.
Oh, he was so friendly.
My buttery boy.
There.
He looks down over you. He reaches out, pats you on the shoulder. I understand. Actually, I don't. I don't have a son. But if I did, I don't know.
Actually, about that, I'm pretty certain you do.
Really?
Based on everything that we've been able to find in artistic depictions of you, even if you don't remember it, I'm fairly certain that Gent is your son.
Ooh.
Huh. He sort of takes a second. He doesn't seem to know what to say to that, which is the first.
Is there a resemblance?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
Having seen his mother actively paint this man.
Yeah, well, yeah, Grumman hasn't, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My character sheet crashed. Hold on.
Yeah, D&D Beyond has been a bit wonky for me today. 2.
All right, 22.
So yeah, looking at him, no, there. You hadn't thought to look before, but there is definitely similarities in jaw structure and muscle tone. Adam definitely is bulkier than Gent. He has a higher strength score mechanically, but strength and con. But there is definitely a resemblance, like especially considering Gent's tendency more towards organizing his compartment. You can after a few months of.
Got it.
Valdeth looks over her shoulder, as if talking to the ghost, even though no words are exchanged. I did get your hair, but that doesn't mean that I look exactly like you. Yes, there's a family resemblance, but you've got too much beard to see your jawline.
Family. So much family.
He looks over at what's happening behind Valdeth. You know, I'm going to go process. He sort of steps away. Let us know when you're good, Jerry.
I'm good.
All right. So, yeah. So then you see the others appear.
Yep.
And Anya.
What does Sin look like now?
Well, it's about time. Sin looks like Sin. They very
Are they
much
in
the
changeling form?
Changeling form, except changeling natural form tends to look like an unfinished person.
Mm-hmm.
The nose isn't quite there. Mouth might not be actually sort of formed, etc. Sin's face is fully formed. There is a fully formed nose, mouth, everything. Blank eyes. The blank eyes stays, but otherwise they have finished out what they look like, more or less. They are actually dressed in armor, which is a first. They have the great sword that they were using as a packed weapon is still there, still on their back. Actually on their back, because normally they would just pull it out of nowhere. Yep. Dressed in sort of a lot of aquamarine and bluish green colors. And has just a little bit of a smile on their face as they look over you. Matched with like the exasperation of like, it took you guys long enough.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Sin, but it's good to see you. You look whole.
People accept it. People are a little more likely to not think you're up to something if they can make out all of the features. So
it is generally good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. How are things going?
It's been a bit fucked for the past few days.
I understand we were kind of in the same location perhaps for a bit. I'm not sure.
It's been terrible. It's great to see you. I give you a hug.
They accept. Yep.
We've lost Scuzz.
Well, that's unfortunate. We talked about it a lot, though, so...
Yeah, it was sort of a long time coming, I think.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, Miss... Oh. How have you, like, figured out, the fighting style? All that?
Yes, I got that. I went through a little bit of a... Let's say we went through a training montage.
Yep.
I think that was what we were trying to go through. I think that was what we were trying to go through before we got yanked out of it, and I'm quite glad.
Yeah, it was a whole situation.
Well, consider yourself lucky. It's a lot more boring than it seems.
How long was it for you?
A while. I mean, the Feywild, like,
yeah, it felt like
some of those memories aren't quite fully formed anymore. It was somewhere between 3 days and 40 years. That's the nearest I can narrow it down.
By the time you got back, it had been a day in like material plane.
Exactly. But yes, I'm sure it wasn't more than 40 years.
No, or we wouldn't be. Well, it hasn't been 40 years for us anyway.
Oh no, it's only been it was only. How long has it been since that particular since Sin left time-wise material world?
About a week.
Like a week?
About a week.
Yeah.
A week or two? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not super long.
Yep.
Y'all aren't sure yet how long you were in the Feywild, though.
Yeah, what day is it actually?
It is blah.
Okay.
You go and check a calendar. Yeah,
It is ye old May 30th.
It has been about it has been about 3 days for you.
Okay.
All right, that's doable. Time pass. It's almost 1-to-1 actually. Now that I think about it.
That's very lucky. Okay. We still need to deal with gestures in direction of Taram situation.
Yes.
Who's
Excited to
got-
kill a god. I
It's
am.
about- I'm getting there. Who's got the tactical reports?
Well, that actually reminds me. Have any more gods died while we were, any sort of gestures vaguely into space?
Argon and Dagon
Do
are
I
going to
know-
fall soon.
Do I know the answer to that
You don't.
based on intelligence reports?
No, it doesn't seem like there's been much. Unfortunately, Taram, while having clerics of various other faiths present, not a lot of them, and so there hasn't been a whole lot of communication with any of the other divinities. Abernar has not indicated yet that Argon and Dagoth have fallen. But he also has been busy with the plan to grab the steel hearts from wherever it was.
However, we also do know that Argon and Dagoth were sort of next in line. So if they haven't fallen, presumably no one else has.
Titania's going to say, and not super loud, because it sounds like this is a busy room with lots of people in it, and I
Yes.
don't necessarily want to spread that. She's going to say to the group, Argon and Dagoth are close to falling in the next few days, maybe.
We better make this quick.
How did you find out?
Dagoth came and talked to me.
Oh,
Titania,
that's
as you
Yep.
say that, and as Drummond begins to respond, you feel that frayed rope in your chest snap.
Yep.
And your connection to Dagoth stops. And then, in a heartbeat, you feel a wellspring of power erupt by. You would swear that there was a torrential, hurricane right behind you, but no one else seems to notice or is affected. And you feel that connection replaced with something else. Something much.
Okay.
The ghost of Valdez's father sort of turns and looks in that direction, and Valdez sort of looks over her shoulder. Something major just happened.
Grummond is still sort of chattering on and going, "Well, that's nice. Just such a nice. Is that something I should be doing more? I'm still sort of new to the whole divine thing. Mardak, you anything? Sort of tip off divine battle." He's just going to keep doing this until somebody interrupts him. But he's just...
I'm going to turn and try and figure out what that feeling was. Is that the direction that Abernor went?
Yes.
Okay.
maybe different sorts of spirits.
It definitely feels like you almost feel like that rope is kind of tugging you.
Okay. He's gone.
Maybe something warming if it's good.
Dagoth just died. Hang on.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Is it condolences?
For the rest,
Worry.
Following.
For the
Less
rest-
condolence.
for the rest of you, Titania just said that the god of death
Uh-huh.
has
died.
died.
Yeah.
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 I felt something different though, or at least Father did.
Tanya, are
Something
you
weird's
following
happened.
that feeling?
Yes, I am.
Val doesn't follow after.
Now everybody acted like I was daft when I asked this the last time, but I know Titania didn't mean it when you went off, but does this mean none of us can die?
No, more than likely, when a god's killing the god, that god takes over the new god's portfolio.
Oh.
Yeah, so that means that no one wants to die now at this point because Ternalian's in charge of death.
As opposed to all the dying we wanted to do before.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Are any of you following Titania? Other than
Valeth is
I mean,
following
yes,
Titania.
we're not letting her just wander off, but we're still talking as we do.
Adam and Brava notice that the group of you like leave in a hurry, and they follow just to see if reinforcements are needed for whatever's happening with the Steelhearts.
We just got you fuckers back, and you're wandering off already.
Basically,
goddamn cats.
This is what we do. Yes.
Fine, I'm with them. It's better now. Everything's gonna be okay.
Marginally.
Anytime someone says everything is gonna be okay in relation to the Steelhearts, there's a verbal asterisk attached to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You all follow Titania, who sort of begins to rush, following this feeling in your, and you find yourself. You exit. You realize now that what you were in was a large tent that's been basically set up in the middle of the town square of Grifftop, sort of like so that the entirety of the town is defending that position effectively. And following that feeling, you eventually end up at the cliff. There's a graveyard along, like the graveyard in Grifftop is along the cliff edge. And standing in the middle of it is Abernar, who looks different. Does
he have a pair of antlers now?
There is visible. No, he doesn't. There is visible, like, purplish black energy billowing off of him. His armored outfit has changed into a dark black robe around him. There are a pair of black ending from his back. His scythe is in his hand. His Reaper spirit is hovering nearby. And his skin has changed. Now it's gone from like sort of a dark brown, like an earthy brown, to a slightly more gray-toned brown. And his eyes that were this sort of brilliant purple, have just become pits of black, with white irises. Like looking down at hands that are much larger and than those lithe elven figures by something significantly more powerful. And they're looking at in one hand. He only has one of those. And you can see bits of his attire after some of the design, like sort of scroll work and such that was.
Or maybe Ternalian's not the new god of death.
No, he says, his voice echoing multiple times within itself.
This is the guy, just out of character. This is the guy that we encountered down in Coralholm, right?
No.
Abernar.
Okay. That was Alfenbar that you encountered.
Alfenbar. Okay.
Abernar is the archdruid of the Tyrian Circle of Druids. Particularly, he's the archdruid of the Circle of Grim Harvest. So he's
Titania's teacher.
Titania's like teacher, instructor, master, that kind of. And as he talks, no, Dagoth has passed his power on to me.
It's about time a god had some fucking foresight.
In order to evade Divine Veil, get his power on this side of it, Dagoth gave his life. He holds up that other antler, looks over, sees Adam has sort of caught up with you, and he holds a hand up. Adam stops and looks like he's being like restrained by something. There's a confusing look on his face, And you watch as like his throat bulges out unnaturally, and he like it almost looks like he's about to throw up as whatever this is comes up. His mouth opens, and this dark orb of black energy just comes out of him, leaving him coughing, but now he can move again. And as that energy comes towards Abernar, he looks at the rest of you. I only have a short period of time before the divine veil returns me to the side. Dagoth's power is one of the powers that he grabs that dark orb. But it cannot bind power of entropy. He takes that orb and the antler and puts the two. You watch as he physically shapes the antler into a wooden dagger. And as he lets go, that dark energy. He looks over at Adam. Sorry if you're learning for the first time now, but within you was a shard of Eidos, goddess of entropy. It's not there anymore. There's that dark energy. Adam coughs a little bit. Thank you.
That would explain a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He proffers the dagger that he made.
What is this?
Mortality. This will do no damage. This will hurt no living creature, mortal creature. But break the blade off inside a god. It will render them mortal.
Right. Takes dagger.
As you grab it, he wraps his fingers around the blade and holds it, so you can't quite take it yet. Dagoth gave his life for this. Respect that.
I understand.
He lets go of it. I seem to have some business. I wish you all luck. And you watch as this sudden that same golden net, the lattice network that you had seen that you had fallen through harmlessly. You watch as it manifests behind him. That crisscross golden light whips and wraps around Abernar's limbs, around his shoulders and around his hips and legs. And you watch as it connects. There's the singe of flesh as if something is burning as it hits him, and he doesn't seem to feel the pain, but it lifts him from the ground. And as that net reasserts itself back to the form, he gradually fades, never breaking eye contact with you.
Waves goodbye.
There's a new god of death in the cosmos, and we have something else to turn against Tirnalion.
Yes. That gives us, well, we've got yours back if you still have the.
Oh, yes. Yes.
As Craig has stepped away, damn it. That gives us.
Miss Morgoth and I still don't get along well, but.
Especially because you keep mispronouncing my name, Morath says.
You think that's not intentional?
No, I know it's intentional. Says
I only do it when I'm talking to other people so that you are not remembered as Morath. You are remembered as Morgoth. I'm intentionally erasing your name from the history books.
Ah, there you go.
You all are hearing Sin's side of this conversation, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I said, we get along fine now.
Just intentionally erasing someone from history. You know, this is just this thing that friends do.
Consider the person and wonder if I'm doing the right thing or not.
Oh no, I'm not saying you're not doing the right thing. I'm just saying, yes, you get along fine as you're trying to erase them from history.
Absolutely.
That gives
Listen,
us
a legacy's not that important for someone like Morgoth, right?
That gives us the regalia. The mark that's on this scythe.
The marks I can bestow.
Yeah. And were there any other things that we got?
We
that
never
could
got
give
the
this?
handouts, by the way, for the Fiend Hunter's gear.
That's because they were never identified.
Well, we still gotta do that then. The grave of the fiend and the grave of the fiend hunter. That's an awful lot.
It's a lot. I'd like to have more, but I think we're out of time.
We have we also have the Everice and the Phoenix.
Oh, that's right.
If somebody would stop being so selfish with their wedding gift.
I haven't decided yet.
Look, if you look at it in your inventory, it has a little exclamation mark next to it, marking it as a quest item.
Wait, what is this? I don't even remember.
When Vespia and Ithram got married, one of the wedding presents was a phoenix feather.
Yeah, Ithram's mother gave her a phoenix feather.
What does that do?
It's marked as essential.
It can revive someone from the dead, but B, apparently Grummond can use it in his Everice mix. Whatever.
Oh yeah, for like a fancy cocktail. That's right.
Grummond wants to take her present.
It's a divine garnish.
To make a really great drink.
Yeah.
Grummond has a recipe.
It kind of is for the betterment of all mankind.
I legitimately don't know what this drink will do. Like it sounds like a powerful drink.
That's why you make it. It says in the ancient writing, as near as I can translate it from when I found it, it says it unfucks you up. I have a strong feeling that whatever trouble we get into when we're fighting gods and trying to save the world, one or more of us is going to get pretty damn fucked up. So having an antidote for fuckery sounds like a good idea.
If only someone could cast. If only someone could cast legend lore on the recipe and figure out what it does.
Look, I would argue.
Nobody's asked.
I would argue that Ternalian right now is pretty fucked up. So maybe we just get him to drink this drink, and it all gets fixed and goes away.
No, that would unfuck him. We don't want that. We want him to be fucked up.
No, okay. There are many kinds of being fucked up.
I actually like this.
Okay, Ithram, can you please find out what the fuck this drink does next time you get the chance?
Oh,
sure.
Is that something you could do?
It's within my skill set, yes, but
is it something that the wizard can do?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I've got the recipe here. Take a look. Also, I've got this thing on my back.
That I can't help you with.
Grummond, I have missed you.
I missed you too, Sim. It's great to have you back.
Valdeth gathers up all of her tattoo needles and is pressing them to the spots where the tattoos are still there but have lost their power, and they sort of disappear back into the tattoos, and the tattoos begin to glow again.
Missed you the way when you bang your knee on the door frame and you get that familiar feeling of, oh yes, I've done that before. That's sort of missing.
I miss bagging.
My God.
Metaphorically, get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, Ithram will start fidgeting with the Crystalline Chronicle. There's some other things I need to look at as well for us to take stock of what we do have available.
Also, information, right?
Yes.
We need to find out what's been happening.
Hi. Let's while you're prepping that, let's go ahead and see if we can get the rundown from presumably somebody's been organizing all this.
Adam
Right.
says me and a few others, but he looks like he's still trying to come to grips with what just happened. And so Brava sort of elbows him and goes, "We were going to actually have." Annette said that they would have you around by this evening, so we'd planned to have sort of a final battle plan tactics meeting. It's getting bad. You've got
Let's
a
go
few
have that
hours.
then.
You got a few hours to rest. That's scheduled.
Okay.
Okay.
You can
Let's
use the
go
immortal.
back.
You can use the immortal's house if you want, or if you've got your own thing. It's standing at the moment, so there's that.
How is the?
If you recall, the immortal's house was half collapsed last time you saw it.
That's good. Is our house
I was
standing?
about to say, how's our house?
Is it in the middle?
A very, very, very fine house. That's
Are you asking them or are you asking me?
Both.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, you guys had a house on the outskirts, right?
Outside.
Yeah, I think I meant to
That's
come by.
reassuring. Oh yeah, you used to live here.
We didn't live here very much,
Mm-mm.
to be fair.
think,
Like once we got the house, we
honestly, I think
couldn't
everything
stay.
except for everything out on the outside except for Annette's house has been pretty in fighting.
To be
you can go
fair,
check,
Annette
though.
placed her house literally adjacent to ours.
Yeah, you can go look at it.
So Valeth will go see.
I mean, how
what
good
the-
of a condition is, because that might be where Sin's living, regardless of whether it's in good condition or not.
Yeah, Sin's been living there. It's livable. There are some holes.
Eh.
That's all.
Annette's house is perfectly fine, but that's what happens when her summoned monstrosities have to throw the demons. Like to do what is referred to in our world as top of the rope bullshit, or top of the rope WWE bullshit to fiends. They tend to target the other house as the collateral damage.
If I recall correctly, are my retainers are in Everstone now at this point? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they're all.
Yeah, no, the only
was-
faculty members that we lost were the Maggin that I made. All three of them.
Yeah, Sin,
Never getting those hit points back.
you distinctly recall one time where
R.I.P.
a huge sized Frankensteinian monstrosity stitched together by Annette suplexed a pit fiend through the back wall.
Nice.
The pit fiend's dead, but they couldn't repair the wall.
I mean, that's fair.
Couldn't or
It's fine. I just moved to a different part of the of the house,
Exactly.
and sent that a joking Bill.
You just keep. There's one zombie at the mailbox that just has a collection of bills in its hand. It's not doing anything when they're just there.
It's their interest.
So yeah, if you all go check out the Steelheart's residence, it's livable, but it's got a lot of holes in it.
We'll have to fix that once everything's over, but at least it's home.
Yeah. Start mending what can be mended.
And yeah, there is definite signs of constant fighting. As you're getting there, you can see that there are a few of Annette's undead minions finishing off a few fiends that had just attacked.
I have a very important question. And that question is the hot tub still operational?
Yeah, I would have made sure of it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
The hot tub room is the only room that's still fully intact.
I have defended that room against
Thank
any
you.
number of demon fiends, monstrosities, aberrations,
It's like,
say
I have one good thing in my life, and it is not going away.
That has priorities.
There's like one of the imps is trying to fly away from the undead minions, and Valda just sort of looks at it, and just there's a flash of motion, and it just falls in half as it tries to fly away.
You can see that actually leading the defense of Annette's undead forces is what seems to be a Death Knight. Your mother's control of the undead continues to astound you, Tanya. Especially considering for most of your life you thought she was an like a clerical wizard, like a
very, very boring. Yeah. Clerical wizard.
Oh fuck, mom's scary.
Just it's just Ichigo learning that his dad was like a captain of the Soul Reapers.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to take a bath. Please join me.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
I need to speak to your mother or my mother about supplies for this spell.
We also, well, actually, you don't need to. Valda says as she pulls up the Griffin's saddlebag. What do you need?
The Griffin's component pouch.
The Griffin's component pouch, yeah.
250 gold worth of incense.
She sticks 250 gold into the component pouch and pulls out a pile of incense. Here you go.
I think it's like five more, I think.
Is it 5 more on top of that? 1 second.
There is a surcharge.
Is it a 5 gold?
Yeah, it's like +5. Yeah,
it's a 5 gold charge. So 255 gold into the pouch and pulls out the incense.
Oh, sure.
Here you go.
You wait until after I can no longer cast spells to get something like that.
We've had this for a while. Everyone's sort of forgotten it was there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Ithram's like, why are you carrying that?
Because I'm the one who keeps track of our funds.
Yeah, that's fair. If we want, if we have a big enough diamond, I can make a very nice feast for tonight. If we think tomorrow might be it.
Do we have that diamond already, or do we need to get one?
Let me look at it. I think I have a bowl for Heroes Feast already, actually. Never mind.
Excellent.
Question.
Let's save that for when we know what our battle plan is.
Yeah, breakfast maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, question. Ashlyn, you had a question?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a while anyways. Yeah, never mind.
I legitimately think we've had the Griffin component pouch since before we met Sin. No one remembers it.
No, we got that out.
Oh no, it came with the mage. It was part of the Mage King's regalia. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because I actually asked if we could use that to pull a phoenix feather.
Yeah. And I remember being very excited because I could finally get a circlet to become a dragon.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna rob Vespia.
Yeah, the Phoenix Feather doesn't have a price, so it's one of those things where it's
it's not something you can get on the market.
Jeez.
Yeah, you just reach in and pluck a feather off a live phoenix and somewhere else.
Told you I can become a phoenix.
Roman would never.
Probably.
Wonderful. But yeah, Ithram is, if we're gonna set up Ithram is going to set up
Your mic might be a bit far away from you, Craig, because you sort of fade in and out.
Oh, sorry. I just said he would never rob anyone. He would guilt them into it.
Vespia can't be guilted.
That's her
Vespia
secret.
Vespia has no conscience.
I mean, and Grummond, of course, is going to be very careful about that because he doesn't want to add any extra stress, in her condition.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Ithram's gonna set up in his arcane workshop, and now that he's got an actual setup, he's gonna put together the legend lore stuff in there. and cast that on the recipe that Grummond has given him.
What's
to
the
see
name of
what
the
the
recipe
fuck
again,
this-
Grummond?
Craig literally just walked away.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I look away for 2 seconds. He'll get it all set up, and then Grummond said he gave him the paper, but obviously he hasn't. So
There he is.
He did. He gave it
Yeah,
to
he
you.
did.
What's the name of the recipe?
The
Unfuckery juice.
Oh, there it is. I got it. I found it. It's the
It's
Cold
the
Fire
Phoenix-
Phoenix Draft.
Hmm.
So you cast Legend Lore, and
Mhm.
you learn a whole bunch of stuff about it, but you also learn the mechanics of what it works. So of how it works. I'm just going to read this. This frigid potion is made from Everglacier ice that's been boiled by the flames of a phoenix. A single downy phoenix feather rests inside the bottle, which is turned blue from the potion's magic. When you drink this potion using an action, you gain resistance to cold damage until you die. When you die, you are immediately returned to life with 1 hit point and 100 temporary hit points. While you have these hit points, you are immune to cold damage, your speed is halved, and you have disadvantage on ability checks. So yeah,
Cool.
it is you die once and then you pop back up with 100 temporary hit points immediately.
It's a free reincarnation.
Well, I mean, not a reincarnation because
revive.
it's a free revive, basically.
I'm
Mhm.
using the Warcraft version of reincarnation, the
okay.
shaman
Yeah,
ability
yeah,
that causes
yeah.
you to come back to life.
Sure. But yeah, it is a very good drink, according to.
I mean, it literally does what the Phoenix Feather does, but more, and you don't have to use it on someone. You just have to drink it, and it will be there until you're good.
You get from the Legend Lord, you get a sense that one potion, the potion has
The brew yield.
the brew yield basically. You'd be able to get 3 instances of a drink from this potion.
That's actually turning a Phoenix Feather into 3 Phoenix Feathers. That's actually real good.
Hmm.
now, I don't want to drift into the dread art of accountancy, but that sounds.
Yes. Yeah, he'll share that information as he learns it with everybody.
I mean, it is your wedding gift, but that sounds like something very fucking important.
Well, it'll turn it into 3?
Yeah, like basically,
Mhm.
the 1 Phoenix Feather can be used to make a drink that can be the effectiveness of 3 of them, plus ice resistance.
Yep.
All right. Heavy sigh. She will take it out.
You won't regret it. You won't live to regret it.
You won't die to regret
I
it.
don't like the way that was phrased.
And certainly, one of the drafts will go to you, of course. You and Ithram. That only seems appropriate.
I would say that of the people here, you, Ithram, and Titania probably get those 3 drafts.
I'd agree with that. Well, then I may go ahead and start on it. I can keep it fresh in the Ever Ice box, and we can just down it when it's time.
I mean, to be fair, you can down it as soon as it's ready. It lasts until you die.
Oh, well, still seems for dramatic impact. It seems it should be a.
Oh, I think a final toast of that drink seems appropriate.
And I'll make something appropriate for the rest of us, so there won't be any hands wanting.
Tanya's not there. She has adjourned to a hot tub and is soaking.
Yeah. If you don't mind,
there's been a lot of traveling and terrible
with
things.
that settled, I'm going to go join my wife in a hot tub.
Good choice.
Can't blame me at all.
And Valdeth will join Titania.
Yup.
Ithram looks at the pile of all the Fiend Hunter gear and cracks his knuckles, starts going over to identify it.
It's dark in there, and she has turned the water into fairy fire.
Old Fire Phoenix draft
that's
is in
beautiful.
the magic items journal for. Go ahead and identify and put the Fiend Hunter's stuff.
He does it as ritual, so it takes a little while, but yeah. Still gets done.
As usual. Just to Ithram.
Valeth sort of relaxes into the hot bath. It's been a very long time since we've had this kind of thing.
Yeah. It's been a very long time since we've been in this house.
Aye.
And had a moment.
Right.
Hopefully, once all this is over, we'll have many more moments.
That's the plan.
It almost doesn't feel real, the idea that it's finally coming to a head.
Oh, as you all relax for a bit in the hot tub, Ithram spends a while, a few that's enough items. It's probably 10 minutes per
About an hour.
10 minutes each. So yeah, about an hour.
About an hour. As Ithram spends about an hour identifying
Snack break.
items. We're going to go ahead and take our break. So as you're watching live, please stay tuned for the first messages. Remember, stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hey.
And we're back. A dinosaur story.
Dinosaur story.
So, Ithram has spent an hour identifying the Fiend Hunter's gear. Have that in your...
But I found nothing out. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all trash. You can take time to rearrange your as needed, like break, including items from people that aren't here. We're using the magic pockets system that is popularized in several D&D classic or CRPGs.
Right, where everyone's inventory is shared, and if you put one thing in your inventory here, your party member who's across the map suddenly has it in their inventory.
Exactly. That's how the magic pockets work. I mean, you do have the Mage King's trousers. Pockets. But yeah. So, all rested, relaxed, identified some stuff. Drummond, gone to the kitchen to find the back wall of the kitchen is gone.
No.
Yeah, sorry about that. There was a whole situation with some chain demons that showed up.
Yeah, I'd agree there's a whole situation.
God damn it. But yeah, some chain demons showed up and one of them needed something to throw. So they grabbed pieces of the wall, and then there were more pieces of the wall and more pieces of the wall, and now we're here. And I am not a expert in construction. So I was like, hey, we can fix this when we have time.
You did, when that happened, Stan, you did see that Grumman's favorite like frying pan set was thrown over the edge of the cliff. Do you share this information?
I am not mentioning that.
Okay,
shit.
good.
No.
Good.
If anything's gonna put Grummond in kill the messenger mode, that'll be it.
Like it's we can rebuild it. It's fine. Just let me go gather up my good pans.
I have bought pans and put them in the old place, and very carefully forged using somebody else connected to the steel hearts, somebody else's handwriting to say, hey, sorry, don't know what happened to the old set, but here's a new set, and then their name.
Just gonna roll a little insight on finding that.
For forgery,
investigation.
for forgery, be investigation. Yeah.
Not remotely.
And sleight of hand, I would assume for forgery.
I'm just gonna take your. I'm gonna take your. What's your 10 plus?
21.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out there is a solid 12-point gap between those two skills for Grumman. I've got a plus 11 in insight and a -1 in investigation.
Yes.
Let's make
Beautiful.
That
That's a
whose name was it that? What was
just because I think it's no. There's no way that would logically work.
That would have been a 24.
Some staff member or something like that. I was trying to make it work in my head that like, yeah, Gent works perfectly.
Yeah.
Because Gent is not here.
Find some pans. They are not your pans. There is an
They're
apology.
nice pans.
They're nice pans, but they're not your pans. And there is an apology note written in.
And he just sort of slumps over. Deep breath. Is there remotely anything here enough to start working on the cocktail, or is it just?
No, you have stuff to use. It's just that the wall's missing and some tools are missing, but you have enough to actually work that cocktail.
I assume way too much damage, not enough material remaining to use mending.
Correct.
On I mean, it would take multiple things. I will use mending on any broken stuff that remains.
Yeah.
Okay. So he will sort of putter around the kitchen, putting things back together, and
bit of a draft.
Grieving. Well, I hope it's going to be a little bit more than just a little bit of a draft. I will
redraft season.
I mean, he's from a dockside bar. He's used to cooking in a kitchen in the breeze. I will.
There's also a dockside bar now. Technically, it's just that the dock is 100 feet below you.
Yeah. So yeah, just put things back together, and then try to start putting the recipe together.
All right. I'm not even gonna need a cooking tools check because you've got the recipe to follow. It takes you a while, much longer than it's ever taken you to do anything else, or to mix anything else, I should say. But after about an hour, have a bottle, a pyramid-shaped bottle with a stopper in it and a slowly turning blue phoenix feather inside. It's a fairly large bottle. You figure you'd probably pour 3 drinks out of this. No idea what it's going to taste like, but you're excited to find out.
Mechanically, can I take a sip without
ruining
you
could take a sip. You could take a sip that wouldn't give you the full effects of it, but it would give you a taste.
Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want any mechanical benefits. I just want to know what it's going to taste like.
It's an interesting combination of heat and cold. Like it instantly lights up your sinuses like a very strong mint would do. Of that, like just clearing out your sinus cavity entirely and giving you that coolness to your breath.
Right.
And there is that at the same time, you're also getting that cinnamon-esque warmth of a like much more like a brandy going down. So like it's almost like the closest thing you could describe it to is like a weirdly pleasant mint brandy.
That's very pleasant. Well, note to self: find a phoenix, kill it, pluck it, and then cook it. One bird, 2 stones.
Yes, it's 5 gum experience. That's exactly what it is.
Come and choose 5 gum.
Good. Well, I think I've done it. He turns around to Sin, who presumably is not there hours later.
Oh no, they're still there.
Oh, okay.
They got nothing better to do.
And say Vespia would be there too. She's been watching this.
All right. And sort of takes it and gestures the bottle and says, "Well, is the bottle cold to the touch now?"
Oh yes, yeah. You actually notice that it's not only is it cold to the touch, you're noticing that there's a bit of frost beginning to form around it.
Okay. Well, I think we're ready then. So
you're pretty confident you don't need to. It'll just keep itself cold.
Sure. Well, I'll put
hear.
I'll put it in one of my draft boxes, and we'll have it ready for when it's time to ride to meet the apocalypse.
Sounds like a plan. So how was your time in the Feywild anyway?
Well, I appreciate you asking, Sin. You know, I had some sort of drug trip. You haven't.
That is the least surprising thing I could have possibly heard in that moment.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm used to having a bit of a resistance built up to mind-altering substances, and that just seemed like it was gone. Also,
I mean, it's the Feywild.
my
It's Fey
arthritis.
drugs.
I mean, it was a mushroom, so it was growing there. My arthritis came back, which is not something I particularly remember from stories about the
Interesting.
Feywild. I had a lot of trouble breathing. I think I had like Fey asthma.
Phasma.
Phasma, yes.
I was a lot slower.
So not a lot of fun is what I'm hearing.
Not, fun is what you make of it, I suppose. But I mean, I did get to punch something that was pretty much all face and teeth, so that was pretty great. I enjoyed that a good bit. Yeah, like most else, it was good and bad. How about you? Any phasma on your end?
No phasma. I did not suffer that. Fortunately, I think I was in a different part of the Feywild. Clearly, we never ran into each other.
Right.
But then again, like, I may have been in and out before you even went in.
You certainly.
Like, it was only 3 days for you, right?
It sounds like you've been back for a little while.
I've been back for a little while, yes. So, but no, different area of the Feywild. I did not have phasma. I did not get slower.
We've just accepted phasma.
I know, I'm
Phasma
glad you're
is
all using it.
100% a
It's
thing.
glorious.
I did not get slower. I did not. I mean, I was already starting from scratch. So I learned how to kill a lot of things, and that was fun.
That's nice.
I'm excited to use that to put that to good use.
Tell me again. Shall we say this conversation has actually been happening while
probably makes sense?
Yeah. So tell me, speaking of killing things, tell me more about I mean, you're wearing armor, that's new. What sort of things did you kill, and how did you learn to kill them?
I mean, well, there are certain types of creatures in the Feywild, of course. And I was started off with, low, like I wasn't exactly in a position to go up against anything particularly large. So low level red caps and little nonsense like that. Made a few excursions over into like the hells and the abyss to practice killing some demons, celestial realms. I've gotten very good at a number of different. There was a nice trip to the negative energy plane to get practice in destroying like vampires and the like. But yes, just learning to hunt such creatures and drawing on my own personal reserves, shall we say.
Well, it's good that you kept busy. That last part sounds a little sinister. In a sort of deleterious way, I'm assuming.
I mean, it's a little listen, I don't have, and I am glad not to have what's his name?
Galadir.
Yes, but that's exactly how Sin refers to it.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? That is their new favorite thing. Just wiping names from history. Not to have what's his name. I don't have what's his name's power anymore, so I had to find it from somewhere. So it draws upon my life force. It's fine. It comes back. Renewable resources. I recycle.
Well, that sounds admirable enough. Anything new we should be aware of going into a scrap of divine proportion, so to speak? Anything I can do to help you out when we're out there? Keep people off you, throw people to you? What sorts of things?
I am not so much of a sit back and blast. Not that I was ever super much that.
No.
But no, I will be much more of a frontline person now.
Out of
Still
game
sneaky.
because I'm curious, and there's not really much way to actually ask this. What order are you?
A Ghost Slayer.
That tracks.
Just because I love Blood Hunter, I don't like the other archetypes unless you're very specifically making Lycan or the Lycan for a very specific type of character.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan.
How Graza was a Lycan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of mutant and
Profane Soul.
yeah, they're fine. They're just not my thing.
Mhm.
And Ghost Slayer has a lot of really cool shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I can still be sneaky, plenty sneaky when I want to. I'm not averse to a little assassination on the side. But yeah.
Well, good.
You're back to feeling your oats after the Feywild?
It seems so. I went out for a little jog, and it took me 8 hours to go 5 steps, so that's an improvement for certain. All my old things are back with me.
Good.
Flexes his forearms. Tattoos seem to be doing their things once again.
Excellent.
So I think all of us are back to how we were. But
wonderful.
I'm glad you found more utility to the place than we did.
Yes, that's a Feywild. It can some places, some trips will be more valuable than others, shall we say.
Aye, of course. Well, and then so let's say brings us about to where we were. Right. So this is ready when we need it. Anybody else need anything beyond that? Anything I can do while we're here?
What that I can think of.
Oh, might try to get a little bit of rest then with whatever we've got left of the night.
It's like 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, we're supposed to meet at Titania's mom's for like dinner and war planning.
Well,
I don't know that necessarily.
The war tent is where the meeting is. But.
The war. Okay, that's where it was.
I've got plane lag. Well, that being the case, I might have a wee nap until it's time.
I'll make sure to wake you up.
Anyone still no sending now, right, Sin? Can't send messages or out?
No. Well, not distances. I can send messages short distances as long as they're in eye shot. I can show you if you want.
Oh, bye.
I will walk to the other end of the room and I'll shout, "Hey, Gromid!"
I like it very much. That's quite good.
And then I'll speak in your head.
Ah!
I was about to say, are you not still psychic?
Yes, I still have the telepathy thing.
Gromid legitimately just screams. Ah! Oh,
I've missed you.
You got me twice in a row. Missed you too. But Titania, you got any ability to send messages to folks today?
Huh? As I look at spells again, I don't think I have sending. I don't think this character does. I don't think I ever did.
Oh wait, you're not there. You're in the hot tub.
Yeah, that too.
Vespia, any ability to send messages today?
Nope.
How about your husband? Any idea where he might be?
I
Workshop.
believe. Yeah, he's in the workshop.
Oh, well, might total off there and see if he could send a message. Just figure we might check in with Lavenda, ask her to get a message to the family, and maybe this time we send a message to Sable. So just keep your chin up sort of thing, try to come back for you, you know.
I believe they're working on getting her back, and I don't think you can send messages into the Feywild.
Those planar boundaries can be rough.
There's
Can try.
Yeah, no, there's a chance that there's actually a pretty good chance it'll go through.
Yeah. It's just that is it gonna get sent?
I just think, you know, when it all wraps up and she comes back wanting to kill us all for leaving her there, I'd just like to be able to say we gave it the old try, the old college divination try.
I don't think that would prevent her from killing you.
I don't remember what School of Magic sending is. Replace it for everyone for the joke.
I think it's conjuration.
It might be.
Probably conjuration.
Give it the old College of Conjuration try.
It's evocation.
Of course, because if they can't figure out what school it fits in, toss it in fucking evocation.
Hang on. I may have just not. I'm pretty sure I just pulled it from Roll20, but there's also the chance that I just added it and just left it as evocation.
Nope. I'm looking right now at the actual compendium.
It is evocation.
It's evocation because evocation is grabbing something and moving it around, basically. So you're grabbing fire, throwing it at something.
I mean, fair, but it also doesn't hurt that is we don't know what other school to put this in. Let's make it evocation.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, if you go looking for him, Mithram is in the workshop.
Knock knock.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Ithram. Just wondering if you might be able to send some messages to some folks for us.
Oh, yes. Who did you have in mind?
Well, I thought we probably ought to check in with Sable. You know, just to see how she's doing, apologize to prevent murderous rampage in the future, that sort of thing. You know how it goes.
That seems appropriate.
And then also, I thought maybe you could send a message to Lavinda. She was rather cross the last time we just disappeared without any warning. So maybe we could let her know we're all right. Maybe ask her to get a message to the rest of my family. That sort of thing.
I could do that. One moment. Yes. He'll cast sending to Sable first. And
Excited.
let's see.
I'll make the roll because there are extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I'm level 21.
I say fuck your extenuating circumstances.
The hubris. It's already here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. We're practically.
I'm a wizard with triple digit hit points. I'm God. No. As they disappear and melt.
Yeah.
Happy my arthritis.
Yeah.
Send the message, and you feel it ricochet off something.
I wanted to send a response.
I mean,
Feel it ricocheting in the place tonight.
Like it doesn't feel like it failed due to the normal fail chance. It feels like it was deflected off of something.
she has me blocked. Forget her one time. I didn't forget her.
Pretty fantastic.
That is curious. I cannot seem to reach her.
Well, at least we can say we tried, right?
Oh yeah, she'll believe that.
You can try again if you want. Doesn't seem like
yeah, he will.
Yeah. This time it goes through.
Okay. He will he will say, we were unexpectedly pulled through back to the material plane. So I slipped back into character. You should be retrieved soon as well. Was not on purpose.
Okay.
That's it.
Is a response possible?
It is. From Sable's perspective, you've been trapped in this jungle for an additional
Right.
week since they left.
Right.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
I love it.
So the response you get, it's very calm,
That means she's angry.
Hang on.
very
Hang on.
careful.
Also,
Yeah.
Naomi is also gone from your perspective.
Right. And the response just comes across as, don't worry, I'll find you one day. Trust in that.
The one time I wanted Ithram to roll low on insight. Well, Bispy and I will be okay.
It's good.
She's looking forward to coming back. She sounded calm, but if I've learned anything, that's not always the case.
Oh. Well, that's okay. It'll be nice to see her again whenever she gets a chance to get here.
Hopefully it hasn't been too much longer by the time they retrieve her.
No, I'm sure it won't.
I've only been gone for a few hours. It could be, what, if it was a few days for us, while we were there for a few days, it could be perhaps another day.
Yeah, about the same one way and the other, eh? So
From Sable's perspective, 10 years later.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that. And that should, help to tide her over, that sort of thing. Aye.
And what message did you have for Lavinda?
Oh, just go ahead and let her know that actually here, do you mind just
Repeating verbatim? Yes. Go for it.
Okay, perfect. So hello, Cookie. It's your dad. We disappeared again into fairyland, but we're back, mostly safe and sound. Left a couple of people. Toodles, love that.
So that, but in an Eastern European accent.
You get back a string of dwarven words.
She's so much like her mother.
You don't know what they mean because I don't think you speak Dwarven, Ithram.
No, I don't.
You can just repeat them verbatim.
But you get the implication from the intensity with which they are delivered.
Mm-hmm. Was there anybody else?
No, I think. Let's see.
Could you tell Sable that Vespia says burn it all down?
We'll see. I don't know if it'll make it. Yeah, I'll send another message to Sable with words of encouragement from Vespia.
Working on it.
Another week has passed.
Yeah, right. No. Now it's been about 4 years.
Yeah.
Or even better, for some reason, this message comes in
This message
right
also
as she arrived in the Feywild
this
with Halloween,
me-
and she was confused.
This is where the thought originally came from.
this message. Actually, I like that. It hit the bear. It hit the like exactly the number for being deflected. So I'm gonna say instead of being explicitly deflected, it does exactly. It goes back in time through the Feywild because of time
Yes.
shenanigans, and you get that message that like as you're sort of coming to in the Feywild.
Nice.
Burn it all down.
Yeah. Vespia says
Which
burn it all
thus
down.
inspired her.
Is there a response?
Yes.
Is there a response from that version?
Good idea.
She said good idea, but I thought that she thought
Feywild's
Vespia will
freaky, man.
try.
Never go in there.
and send another one to Ninomi.
This one just fails.
Uh-oh.
It feels like you can't find the target.
Hmm.
The target has left the space-time continuum and will be joining you shortly.
Odd.
Perhaps she
just-
ended up back on her original plane.
Yeah,
It would be bad.
perhaps.
Right.
Perhaps.
I'm home.
We don't
Fuck.
want that.
Going home on the day of mourning.
I mean, he did it twice for Sable. He'll try one more time.
Again, nothing.
Yeah.
Like it can't talk.
She tried.
All right. Is there anything else y'all are doing before heading back to the war tent?
Nope.
I mean, until we get summoned to the war tent, Ithram is probably actually going to use the key, the archivist key, to try to find all the books he can on siphoning magic from one thing and transferring it to another.
An investigation
whole,
check
whole
with the
process. Advantage. Investigation. Natural 20 for a 32.
Nice.
So you find quite a bit of research on that particular subject. You learn and are able to do some hypothesizing as well. Most of the time, whenever you're a target, they have to be in a weakened or vulnerable state in order for the body's natural inclination to hold on to its various bits and pieces to be subjugated in that manner. And thinking about it, you realize that, like lots of every time you've seen it done so far, it has been done when the subject was in a particularly vulnerable state or at a particularly vulnerable portion of the subject. The not quite right god from Coralholm was they like he was like at their core or something, and had likely been doing damage to it as well. When Titania's spark was taken, it was at the end of a long fight after a lot of like Titania's resources had been exhausted. Even though there had been a temporary boost from Ternalian. Lots of every time you see it, it's been like sort of right there. Not and obviously historically, Ternalian killed two gods to take their powers, theoretically. So you theorize probably not something you're gonna be able to just like open up with.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna figure out how to activate it, it's gonna be when he's in a weakened.
All right. But yeah, that's what he does until.
All right. So after a while, you all pack your things up, go back to the war tent. Begins. Gathered around the tent, there are a few more faces that you previously, including Valdeth's mother. Basically, Valdeth, Ithram, and Tanya's mothers.
There's
there.
Probably a weird moment when Valdeth walks in with her father's ghost behind her.
Yeah, your mother looks over at you, looks over your shoulder, looks back at you. We're gonna have a talk later. Not right now.
Aye.
Can he be getting a little bit upsetting?
She looks over her shoulder. Yeah, I understand, Dad. Yeah, go ahead. And then the ghost just disappears.
Yeah. Talk later. Also there, you see is somebody that many of you haven't seen a long time. Geist Koenig, sitting in a chair with his foot up on a table, like you always seem to find him.
You're still in one piece.
Same chair. It's just he's a mimic.
You say one piece, he pulls the cigar out of his mouth with his prosthetic arm and looks down at his prosthetic leg and looks back up at you. As much of a piece as can be. That's not his voice at all. Fuck. Hang on, he's German. Why the fuck can't I do his accent anymore?
Because you haven't done it in forever.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Since we were level 4.
In his accent, he says, "As much of a piece as I've ever been."
Excellent.
One functional piece.
I need to figure out his accent again. Fuck. Okay. All right. Geist Koenig, something like this. Yes.
That sounds
something
right.
more like these. Yes.
Yeah.
As much of a piece as I ought to be. So.
That's drifting Spanish again.
Yeah. The table is set.
Do your comrade accent. It's about as close as you could get.
There we go. Well, let's stick with comrade. There we go. Geist Koenig. That works fine. The table is set. There are chairs. Basically all the leaders of the Griffin companies use Avir, Valdeth's mom, whose name I can't think of, and Annette, and
Rala
and
Rala
Koenig,
Stonebeard,
as well as you all are there, and Adairn, who waves to you guys with two right hands. Also, because she, as a reminder, she's definitely much more of an adult now rather than the child that you had met previously. Her right arm has been entirely replaced with a prosthetic, and also there is a second right arm that has been attached at the shoulder and moves in coordination with her primary right arm. And she's wearing sort of various suited armor. There is also a representative from the Tyrian Legion there as well. Adairn's actually beginning the meeting. Oh, now that everyone's back, this is looking at the Steelhearts with an eye like she's looking for someone and doesn't see them. And that the Steelhearts have been returned to us. We should go over situation from and potential attack plan. Well, the situation, having just returned from a recent rescue survey, she says, indicating to the Legionnaire behind her, Armor and I were able to get out a few more civilians from the upper city. We were able to determine that primarily transit through the city itself has been blocked from... Our traditional methods of transit have been blocked going up the city. It's very difficult to ascend to the higher tiers. We've determined that the mines and the sewers are the primary modes that we can get through the city. But the mines are difficult. They are full of fiends and their captives. The sewers are full of the natural... lots of civilians have retreated to the sewers, but also the denizens that were there already. Kobolds, some sewer goblins, and various types of altered monstrosity from the Izzet College, particularly once the college was destroyed by fiend attack and loose, have taken nest in sewers. So it can be a bit tricky, along with naturally degrading infrastructure because there hasn't been anybody to keep it up. That is in addition to basically the minute you step outside, if a fiend sees you, you're under assault. Traveling anywhere in the city is a battle, and there are very few safe places left.
Mm-hmm.
No idea how many citizens of Trom are still in Abernar. She says, looking around, trying to see where Abernar is. Apparently, word hasn't gotten around. Abernar had been taking some people south past the former Shadowfront light wall, where the land is regrowing. So we have been sending civilians there as we begin. We have not yet gotten as high as the palace. So we're not certain. We've only gotten up about 5 levels. Higher than that, we haven't been able to reach. She finishes her report, sits down. Rala stands up. We've got reinforcements coming from around the globe. Our folks in Avalon are sending spellcasters, so they're probably not going to get here in time for an initial strike. We do have some Wavebreaker ships anchored under the water, offshore, waiting to launch an assault from Morn originating troops on the docks. We give them the signal. We have dwarves standing by, waiting for ascending. Figure best opportunity for that is going to be to send them the signal when we're approaching the gates. That way we get sort of a double-headed strike on from the docks and the front gate. As far as tactical awareness or strategy is concerned, we are figuring that if we're wanting to get anybody up to the palace, most likely we're going to want to sneak someone in through either the southern entrance to the mines, down. I try to here. There it is. I'm putting you all back on the tier.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah. There's a southern entrance to the mines by Ingin. It's actually situated in the Coil Woods. Cross the river from Ingin, north of Dassos, south of the mountains. Using that entrance, as our scouts have reported, mostly seems to be unguarded or forgotten about. Using that entrance to get up into the city would take a while. We'd have to time our attacks on the front with when whatever party is closer to the city, if that were to be the route we'd want to go through. Otherwise, we'd have to fight through the front gates to get to a sewer entrance, because there are none, at least none accessible. Though I guess we could potentially use some magic to get it accessible on the outside and the front side of the city. Avira then stands, as Rala says. We have several legions that agreed to offer us a seat to the assault, and we'll be preparing teleportation circles within marching distance of the cover of magical illusion. When we are prepared to attack, we will have 4 legions worth of Desolation's finest assaulting the rest of the Griffin companies. So, as far as leading the Griffin companies, indicating to the Steelhearts and Adam and Brava. Adam and Brava look towards y'all. Adam goes, I think of the group of us, most Griffin for a while. But I'll leave it up to y'all if y'all want to organize the rest of the Griffin companies here.
I'm less of an organizational person and more of a stab person.
We have the god-killing weapons. I think our focus there might be better served. Looking toward Valdeth.
Okay, I think at this point, the Steelheart's primary goal needs to be the infiltration of the city and the elimination of Ternalian to bring an end to this, cutting the head of the serpent, as it were.
I'll be very disappointed if I don't get my chance to kill a god.
Yes, you've been here the longest. The companies that are here are more likely to listen to you rather than us that have just shown up.
And you know their capabilities.
Correct.
Brava also says, and you're not having to deal with a bunch of children, she says, smiling while talking about her own griffins. Right? So yeah, I will lead up the griffin companies. I'll organize and lead the griffin companies on an assault whenever everyone's ready and in place. Annette.
How many companies do remain?
Adam thinks for a second. We've got about a dozen Griffin companies that are headquartered here in Grifftop. All the Griffin companies that were headquartered in Rom still have scattered. So we only have the larger companies that were able to afford to move out. Some have their forces elsewhere. People have gone home to protect friends, family, loved ones. But we have about a dozen strong. Averaging about, he does some quick math, about 100 bodies as far as actual mercenaries are concerned.
All right.
What's
Among those, we can supplement an additional probably 50 undead and another 25 summoned creatures.
What's the general skill level of these mercenaries? Obviously, they've been fighting demons, so none of them truly lack for it. But how's everyone measuring up?
I mean, there's always the possibility. If they've been fighting demons, they might not be at their best anymore. They might be missing things.
Mm.
Adam sort of chuckles and gives a nod. Those that are remaining, those that are willing to fight, I'd give it an individual. One soldier's worth about, as far as what we've been fighting with the fiends, one soldier's worth about 5 fiends. On average.
Still long odds in the terms of the assault we're dealing with, but good to know.
That's without counting the reinforcements from the Legion of Desolation and the dwarves from Morn. But the undead are 1-to-1, sometimes less, depending. Except for Annette's, of course. He says, smiling over at Annette, who not. Leaders of companies are a little bit more competent than the foot soldiers. He says, I'm not really one to judge my own qualities, but Brava here is probably a good 15-to-1 as far as fiends go. Brava thinks about it for a second. I'll have to up that number. And then smiles at him.
In fairness, it depends upon the fiend. You're at least a good 17 dretches.
All right, so we've got numbers. We've got a general layout of the city. We need to draw this. We need to draw as many of their forces away from Ternalian's location as possible to allow us to get to him.
We're also going to need to draw him to Taram.
Right,
Annette,
he's still
Annette
battling in the
says,
Divine Fields, isn't he?
Annette indicates. I think that might be what's going on with Abrona. Says, looking over towards Titania. You get a sense that she's aware of what happened, even though she wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So, assuming that we have some sort of signal from him when that occurs, we need to be ready to launch an attack at whenever he's back. Doubt we're gonna have long after that point before.
Do we know who or what's in charge in his absence?
No, there's no clear indication of who's organizing the fiends. There have been some higher level fiends that are out there that are commanding smaller groups of troops. Pit fiends, various others like that. No clear command structure though. They
Has there been
have
any?
destroyed every. They had destroyed every teleportation circle that we had access to within in the city. Aside from and teleporting in is dangerous. Not sure exactly where their forces are.
Has there been any sighting of the one going by the name of Alfred Barmador?
Sort of blank faces around. You realize that, except for Adairn, who like has an uncomfortable look about her, when at his mention, none of these people have ever dealt with Alfenbar.
She'll describe him, the elf like description of what his last visual appearance was, acting as a general among the forces.
Adairn speaks up. No, my uncle hasn't been seen in the city.
And he's out doing things of import for Tenalian. That's another thing to watch out for.
Yes, but that's also what I would like to refer to as a tomorrow problem. In comparison to Ternali himself being a today problem.
Unless
Yes.
he shows himself while
Yeah,
we
unless he
attack.
shows up to get in our way.
And then we'll deal with him then.
Yes.
If he's
What a-
smart, he won't.
One thing at a time. I assume there aren't any standing trees or large plants left in the city.
None that can be reached by druids. They've been affected by the fiend.
That's what I thought.
All right, so our only real way in is going to be the sewers.
Sewers or the mines.
I really like the mines option.
Hmm.
Mostly because I like killing demons, and there are a lot of demons in the mines.
That has a greater possibility of Ternalian or Ternalian's forces getting notified about us, though.
We're good.
Once the assault happens, we can most likely keep the majority of their attention on the front, though if you do act too loudly, no doubt you'll draw more to you. But the trick with the mines is going to be time. You'd have to leave well ahead of the assault in order to get through the mines.
What's our over under between the mines and the sewers? What are we seeing as advantages and disadvantages?
The Warforged Legionnaire steps up. That hasn't been talking much. From our reconnaissance, the mines are going to be much more easily traveled with more enemies. Sewers are going to be harder to navigate, much more labyrinthine. The enemies you're going to find are going to be much less. Are going to be less known, but also less likely to be or fiends. And it'll be quicker, most likely, simply because you're already in the city.
Titania, do you still have the magical ability to find a path?
I can. If I have a night to rest, I can make that happen. It gives me straight lines, though.
That's fine. If it's the straightest path towards our destination, then finding our way to the palace through the sewers will give us the shortest route.
Can also make sure we're quiet as we move.
So that can theoretically eliminate the concerns about the labyrinthine nature of the sewers, which would make them the better option.
Fair enough. Ruin my fun.
Sure, we'll get some.
Oh, I will have plenty of fun. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I like to maximize recreational effort.
Coordination and being able to communicate between our groups, I think, is going to be important for timing.
We have some, Annette indicates, we have some link pros we can coordinate in a greater
link show.
Link show.
That'll be wise.
Sin
I
and
still have mine.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yes.
Last minute. If this plan gets too complex, it'll gain too many points of failures, but last minute details to be concerned about.
It could
We're going,
bolster
we're going,
the
we're going
front
to go on.
could bolster the front between once we know the attack time. Depending on how much, if you still have that pouch, do we know the limitations of that pouch?
As long as it's something that you can find on a market, and we've got the gold for it.
Well, then I have one gem already from that I've had in my own supply for a while. We could add dragons to the front.
You could add dragons. We could also create some extra fortifications. You're able to summon a fortress, eh? And that lasts for a while.
That was the results of another spell that I'm no longer able to cast.
I would prefer if you didn't add facsimiles of my kind. Max and Daedalus says as he walks into.
They aren't facsimiles, they are spirits from the planes that they exist in.
Facsimiles. Though you don't need to worry about bolstering the front line with dragons. I happen to have put out a call. It will take time for them to take wing, but many of my kind owe me favor.
Oh, sorry. There is one limitation on the bag. Once you pull out a specific item, once you've used it, it can't be used again until the next dawn.
Oh, so you can only use it once a day?
Yeah, once a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once a day for anything, or
for
once
anything?
a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So can't use it again until tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it will take time for my forces to arrive. Once they have, we will assault from the sky.
So, actually, I may be able to summon the fortress. Because we above table, we leveled up, so I got 2 more spells.
Yeah.
I've only chosen one. And I've been contemplating between Mighty Fortress and Ravenous Void. So,
I mean, black hole or castle. It's up to you.
well, it's Black Hole or Arena.
Yeah.
That we can kind of like single Ternalian out, hopefully.
Or just create fortifications for the rest of the army.
Yeah.
Because the mighty fortress lasts a while.
7 days.
Well, if we're going to be armor. I appreciate the provision of a fortress, but I don't know if it'll be useful. We're going to be assaulting, not defending.
Correct.
Maybe, but an assault is one thing. Having a fallback point that's easily defensible is another.
I don't know if we're going to be able to fall back.
Yes. Planning to put yourself in a box.
Our goal here should be to minimize casualties. It won't be worth too much if we manage to bring this all down and everyone's dead.
That's true, but he sort of gestures towards the Tyrian legionnaires that are sort of standing along the back wall that have been there for a while. There's about you do a quick count, and there's about 10 of them, counting armor. Every time we do an assault, we lose minimum of 3 people. An assault this large, and that's quick skirmishes, short, stealthy. This is not a thing that we should be expecting to be able to retreat from once we've committed. If we don't win, we all lose.
I understand the frontal assault is mostly a diversion, however. Don't overcommit.
And to be fair, if we do win, many of us still lose.
I've gone a long time dealing with the statistical math of death. And I've hit the point where I'm fed up with accepting losses. They may be inevitable, but it doesn't mean we have to give in to them.
I wasn't saying that at all.
No, not of course not. I didn't say you were. But it's easy to think that way when you see the scale of the enemy we're standing against. And I know that many people here already are wondering who's going to die, when it'll be them, when it'll be their turn. If we think like that, we're losing more than we need to.
You're not familiar with Tyrian Legion philosophy, are you?
Spent a lot of time in Terra. Never spent too much time with their military, unfortunately.
The Legion, to a man, has accepted that we are already dead. We just haven't stopped moving.
Yeah,
Our
I've heard that
job.
a little.
Our job is to die for the citizens.
Make sure you can try and preserve yourself to die as well as you can.
That's the objective.
It'd be a waste to lose all of you here.
Make a perception check. Anyone that while Armor's while you're talking to Armor.
Sure. Just straight perception.
Yeah.
17.
I am nothing if not consistent with a 6.
25.
So I got 4.
Yeah. Not functioning. Fuck it. I'm at +4, so 18.
Right. Valdeth, Titania, and Finn. You were looking at Armor. You can tell a couple things. One, you can tell he's a lot bulkier than the other Legionnaires, and you realize that the armor that he's wearing is a part of. Not only is it a part of him, it's also been heavily modified. Based on what you're seeing, you get the suspicion that he's probably an artificer similar to, but not quite the same as Adairn. And you see there are an uncountable number of scrapes, cuts, dents, repairs that have been done to both his armor and his body. This is someone whose physicality indicates that he has basically been diving headfirst into the fiends every time they've gone into Terra. And has continued to come back out.
Valeth is speaking to more than just armor, though, in this particular moment.
Yeah. But it does, and that also gives you an idea of the toughness of the Tyrian Legionnaires.
Yeah. But she sort of looks across the entire room. I want everyone who's going into that battle to fight like hell to survive, not just to kill. Because I'm quite frankly sick of losing people. At this point, we're walking into our final battle. After this, if anyone else has the balls to raise war in Tiram, I'm going to cut them in half myself. This is going to be the fight for peace.
And with that, going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.